Welcome to Spot Your Risks. This is your host Sujata. Today we are going to see some learnings about information security and cybersecurity. This is aimed at introducing and equipping beginners with very basic knowledge and some terms and definitions used in the information and cybersecurity space. So let's get started. Digitalization has transformed business processes. The world has been undergoing a digital transformation process, and nations, business organizations, and individuals are seeing and adopting multiple technologies that brings in both advantages and disadvantages. Mobile devices have become smarter than ever before with ability to perform enterprise-wide tasks and connect to your work environment. With hyperconnectivity, which is the availability of a cluster of networks or networks within networks, data is always available no matter where it resides. The Internet of Things now has expanded to the Internet of Everything that connects multiple devices, people, processes, and data, and it has extended from machine to machine communication to practically activating your kitchen gadgets for cooking dinner even before you reach home. Voice activated commands, and extends to several other examples. The boom has led to smart devices ranging from cars to even your toaster or microwave oven. Big data is a combination of structured, semi-structured, and unstructured data collected by organizations that can be mined for information and used in machine learning models or advanced analytics. Dealing with big data is a huge challenge for many businesses, and several options are now available to sort, store, and analyze big data, and it is seen as a big boon for several organizations. Machine learning is an application of artificial intelligence that provides systems the ability to automatically learn and improve from experience without being explicitly programmed. Machine learning focuses on the development of computer programs that can access data and use it to learn for themselves. Social media is a computer-based technology that facilitates the sharing of ideas, thoughts, and information through the building of virtual networks and communities. By design, social media is internet-based and gives users quick electronic communication of content. Cloud deployment. So, what exactly is the cloud? Simply put, the cloud is the internet. More specifically, it's all of the things that you can access remotely over the internet. When something is in the cloud, it means it's stored on internet servers instead of your computer's hard drive. Cloud deployment refers to the enablement of software as a service, platform as a service, or infrastructure as a service, and other solutions that may be accessed on demand by end users or consumers. So, what is information security? Information security in today's enterprise is, to quote Jim Anderson, a well informed sense of assurance that the information risks and controls are in balance. It is a means of protecting valuable information and data within the organization that may be residing in software applications, in people, or in hardware systems, network, and other communication protocols and devices. The importance of information security for our organizations can hardly be overemphasized. Who has authorization to access data and how it can be used is the first and foremost step in ensuring information security. There are data privacy laws in several countries that prescribe how data can be collected, used, and destroyed later. Information security also plays a very important part in protecting the confidentiality, integrity, and availability of data. Security measures should also cover the process of managing risks and threat sources, identify vulnerabilities, and report to management on the effectiveness of the information security plans. Now, what is cybersecurity? Cybersecurity is one of the measures and plans under the Information Security Program. It concentrates on the defense of computers, servers, mobile devices, and networks from malicious attacks from outsiders. Application security threats from insiders are also the focus of cybersecurity, since application data contains critical organization information and has to be protected from threats, whether coming from insiders or outsiders through various techniques. How has cybersecurity risks increased in recent times? In today's digital world, applications, processes, and data can be accessed from anywhere by employees. There are new ways of conducting business, like work from home, using your own device, applications in the cloud. And added to this is the fact that many organizations may not have adopted risk based authentication when employees are outside of the corporate network and do not have proper internal controls or there are weak password policies. All these factors have resulted in increased cybersecurity risks in recent times since hackers can take advantage of all the weaknesses. Let's look at the importance of cybersecurity for organizations. Why is it important? Cybersecurity affects all. Cyber attacks are now so common. Recent reports show that hackers attack a computer in the US every 39 seconds. Once an attack happens, millions of people could be harmed. State-run organizations can be shut down. Services can't be provided to citizens. Case in point, the city of Atlanta was attacked using the infamous SamSam ransomware. Cyber attacks can happen on a global scale as well, with hackers breaching government organizations. Network infrastructures can be exploited by attackers. The aim is to lay the groundwork for future attacks on critical infrastructure such as power stations and energy grid. Even physical safety of individuals are at threat if personal information, family details, and passwords are stolen. With the 5G broadband service becoming available, there is a greater threat. Faster speed of broadband service. According to the Brookings Institute, 5G networks create a greatly expanded, multi-dimensional cyber attack vulnerability. It is this redefined nature of networks, a new network, ecosystem of ecosystems, that requires a similarly redefined cyber strategy. Further stating that the increase in the cyber vulnerabilities of software, it would be difficult to retool how organizations would secure the most important network of the 21st century. Better technologies can automate attacks. The advent of modern technologies such as Internet of Things is exponentially increasing the number of connected devices to the extent that there will be around 200 billion or more connected devices by the end of 2020 and 2021. Cyber warriors are increasing their knowledge, while hackers can now utilize artificial intelligence and machine learning to trigger automated cyber attacks that can easily compromise secure systems without any human intervention. These automated cyber attacks pose a global scare and can be done on a mass volume. More use of cloud computing. Cloud computing and deployments in the public cloud increases the need to be aware of and defend against possible security loopholes and cyber attacks. Well, one may ask, what is the difference between information security and cybersecurity? Information security is like a superset that has many facets like access and authorization controls, policy and procedure setting for various matters like authentication mechanisms, software tools and applications, asset purchase policies, maintenance and upgrade schedules, disaster recovery plans, audit review, cybersecurity measures like cryptography, technology tools, and early warning systems to counter external and internal threats. So you can see that cybersecurity is part and parcel of an information security program. So this table, cybersecurity versus information security, shows in a nutshell what is the scope and focus of both. As you can see, info security has overarching responsibilities that also include cybersecurity as one such measure. While cybersecurity's focus is mainly on how to define online threats and attacks from external sources, information security is a comprehensive view of the entire landscape, and it includes internal and external sources. Cybersecurity has to deal with technology and tools to predict vulnerabilities and counterattacks made by hackers. Whereas information security not only includes these but also has an overarching responsibility of setting policies and framework at an organization level that includes cybersecurity approach also. Cybersecurity experts need to understand different types of malicious attacks and software, whereas information security is responsible for oversight on access control, whether any unauthorized access or disruption is caused by insiders. Well, you can say that cybersecurity acts as a guard or sentinel at the gate of the organization to prevent breaches in the environment. Information security, on the other hand, acts as an umbrella that includes cybersecurity measures to prevent and recover from breaches. Let's look at what are the most talked about cyber threats and attacks. Here are some common and well-known cyber threats and attacks: malware, phishing, ransomware, denial of service, man in the middle, cryptojacking, SQL injection, and zero-day exploits. We will look at what it means one by one in the next slide. What are the top 5 cybersecurity risks? Let's look at malware and ransomware. Malware attacks usually come in the form of a computer virus or a worm. A virus piggybacks on something like a document, spreadsheet, or email, whereas a worm is a more active attack. Simply put, ransomware is a subset of malware. But what is ransomware? But is ransomware actually a virus? No. Viruses infect your files or software and have the ability to replicate. But ransomware scrambles your files to render them unusable and then demands you pay up. They can both be recovered or removed with an antivirus, but if your files are encrypted, chances are you'll never get them back. Next, phishing attacks are the practice of sending fraudulent communications that appear to come from a reputable source. It is usually done through email. The goal is to steal sensitive data like credit card and login information, or to install malware on the victim's machine. Denial of service attack is an attack meant to shut down a machine or network, making it inaccessible to its intended users. There are 3 main types of denial of service attacks. Application layer flood. In this attack type, an attacker simply floods the service with requests from a spoofed IP address in an attempt to slow or crash the service. Then there is distributed denial of service attacks coming from various IPs. There is an unintended denial of service attacks that comes in a random fashion. SQL injection. Some common SQL injection examples include retrieving hidden data, where you can modify a SQL query to return additional results. Subverting application logic, where you can change a query to interfere with the application's logic. Union attacks, where you can retrieve data from different database tables. SQL injection is a code injection technique that might destroy your database. It is one of the most common web hacking techniques. SQL injection is the placement of malicious code in SQL statements via web page input. Now, lastly, out of the top 5, a man in the middle attack is a general term for when a perpetrator positions himself in a conversation between a user and an application, either to eavesdrop or to impersonate one of the parties, making it appear as if a normal exchange of information is underway. A man-in-the-middle attack exploits the real-time processing of transactions, conversations, or transfer of other data. Use a virtual private network to encrypt your web traffic. An encrypted VPN severely limits a hacker's ability to read or modify web traffic. Next, we come to a topic called social engineering. Social engineering attacks are mainly used to exploit human weaknesses. As you can see, the perpetrators of social engineering attacks are con artists, fraudsters who masquerade and gain the trust of employees. They eavesdrop on conversations outside the office environment, gain knowledge through social media posts. Gullible employees are weak links who fall prey to this kind of attack and are befriended by the attacker, who ultimately steal passwords or other vital information from these employees. Any cyber security expert will tell you that the human who accepts things at face value is the weakest link in the security chain. Regardless of how sophisticated and advanced your security solutions are, if you trust the wrong person with the right information, you are susceptible to whatever risk they pose. Social engineering is a non-technical strategy that cyber attackers use, and it relies heavily on human interaction and often involves tricking people into breaking standard security practices. It is one of the greatest security threats facing organizations. Social engineering differs from traditional hacking in the sense that it doesn't necessarily involve the compromise or exploitation of software systems. When successful, many social engineering attacks enable attackers to gain legitimate authorized access to confidential information. They may attempt to access computer networks or data stores by gaining the confidence of authorized users or stealing those users' credentials in order to masquerade as trusted insiders. It is common for social engineers to rely on the natural helpfulness of people or to attempt to exploit their perceived personality weaknesses. For example, they may call with a feigned urgent problem that requires immediate network access. Social engineers have been known to appeal to vanity, authority, greed, or other information gleaned from eavesdropping or online sleuthing, often via social media. Let us look at some types of social engineering attack. Phishing. Phishing occurs when an attacker makes fraudulent communications with a victim that are disguised as legitimate, often claiming or seeming to be from a trusted source. In a phishing attack, the recipient is tricked into installing malware on their device or sharing personal, financial, or business information. Email is the most popular mode of communication for phishing attacks, but phishing may also utilize chat applications, social media, phone calls, or spoofed websites designed to look legitimate. Some of the worst phishing attacks make charity pleas after natural disasters or tragedies strike, exploiting people's goodwill and urging them to donate to a cause by inputting personal or payment information. Baiting. Attackers conduct baiting attacks when they leave a malware-infected device such as a USB, flash drive, or a CD in a place where someone likely will find it. The success of a baiting attack hinges on the notion that the person who finds the device will load it into their computer and unknowingly install the malware. Once installed, the malware allows the attacker to advance to the victim's system. Quid pro quo. A quid pro quo attack occurs when attackers request private information from someone in exchange for something desirable or some type of compensation. For instance, an attacker requests login credentials in exchange for a free gift. Remember, if it sounds too good to be true, it probably is. Pretexting. Pretexting occurs when an attacker fabricates false circumstances to compel a victim into providing access to sensitive data or protect systems. Examples of pretexting attacks include a scammer pretending to need financial data in order to confirm the identity of the recipient, or masquerading as a trusted entity such as a member of the company's IT department in order to trick the victim into divulging login credentials or granting computer access. Spear phishing. Spear phishing is a highly targeted type of phishing attack that focuses on a specific individual or organization. Spear phishing attacks use personal information that is specific to the recipient in order to gain trust and appear more legitimate. Oftentimes, this information is taken from victims' social media account and other online activity. By personalizing their phishing attack, spearfishers have higher success rates for tricking victims into granting access or divulging sensitive information such as financial data or trade secrets. Tailgating. Tailgating is a physical social engineering technique that occurs when an unauthorized individual follows authorized individuals into an otherwise secure location. The goal of tailgating is to obtain valuable property or confidential information. Tailgating would occur when someone asks you to hold the door open because they forgot their access card, or asks to borrow your phone or laptop to complete a simple task and instead installs malware or steals data. So, in summary, social engineering is a serious and ongoing threat for many organizations and individual consumers who fall victim to these cons. Education is the first step in preventing your organization from falling victim to savvy attackers, employing increasingly sophisticated social engineering methods to gain access to sensitive data. What is the psychology of social engineering? What is social engineering as related to cybersecurity? In the field of cybersecurity or information security, social engineering serves as a non-technical strategy used by cyber attackers, usually involving psychological manipulation. This heavily depends on human dealings and connections to deceive people into flouting best security practices. The life cycle of social engineering basically involves 4 steps. First, the fraudster obtains information about the victim's personal life and interest through keen observation or hunting. The next step is to interact with the victim without them suspecting the imminent attack. Afterwards, following an extended period of interacting with the target, the attacker obtains relevant information from the unsuspecting victim through social engineering tactics. Lastly, the attacker tries to shut down the interactions without raising any suspicion. Through this strategy, the motive of the malicious hacker is achieved, and the victim may likely never notice this link. Some tips to prevent social engineering. With social engineering scams being on the increase, organizations need to learn about current hacking techniques and conduct vulnerability analysis, always to be a step ahead. It is no secret that social engineering attacks are speedily weakening the cybersecurity chain and today's network based on the progression of digital communication technology. So, the following are some of the ways to prevent falling victim to social engineering scams. A. Regular security awareness training for all employees. Do not fall victim to the phishing, wishing, and smishing bait. If you don't know the sender, don't reply to the text or mail. Do not be too trusting. Always verify the source, and if you're not sure, it's probably a scam. Install an antivirus software. Constantly update your antivirus software. Do not be too hasty to divulge information about your password, financial details, or login credentials. Most legitimate organizations will never ask you for help, so be suspicious of requests for help and offers that are too good to be true. Do not download anything you're not sure of. Beware of foreign offers, requests to transfer money from a foreign account in exchange for a cut, or money from unknown relatives. Thank you for watching this, and I hope you liked it. Do like, share, comment, and subscribe to my channel to support the same. Thank you once again.